Say, hey, everybody, Alex Huber here. Sorare first pitch. It's finally here. The day has finally come. I don't know if it means anything to you, but it means something to me. I finally won a super rare. Finally, finally, just because I wanted to do this show. Not because I needed the super rare. I did. But for the content. Definitely for the content and only the content. We got a lot of rewards, 6 of them. That's not even including a common card. No common cards because I even placed in casual. After all this time about complaining about my casual lineup, my common lineup won me a limited card. It's not going to be very good, but it's the mark of progress. It's the mark that if you just keep chugging away, even when your team's bad, you can get there. You can reach the top. You can at least get some rewards and generate some fun. So, yeah, we're going to do some super seller hold. That's what I'm calling it. Almost won 2 super rares. That would have been wow. That would have been so good. But we got one. We got 6 rewards: a tier 2 rare, 2 tier 3 rares, a tier 3 limited, and a tier 4. I don't know if that's everything. Oh, and the super rare. That makes 6. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna look at some extra cheat codes. Again, this one just born out of my brain because it's something that I need, and we're gonna shout out some friends along the way who made it possible. So, oh boy, let's do it. Don't forget, subscribe here if you haven't already. Very helpful. We're going to continue things into the off season. That was what the last video was about. Speaking of the last video, get in on the giveaway. We'll do that on Friday, start of the playoffs, and we'll probably announce another good giveaway. Maybe we'll give away a rare this weekend. How about that? I think we will. So head over there to the last one. All you have to do is comment what you want to see out of the off season. Replay answers will not be counted if you say you want to use the first half games that they didn't use when they launched at the All-Star break. That idea has already been done. I've been talking about it. That will not count towards the giveaway. We've already got some good suggestions and some good submissions. And don't forget, here in about 3 weeks, I'll be talking to Ryan Spoon, COO of Sorare, right here on the show. And the best suggestions, I'll try and relay to him if I can. So if there's something you want to see, please let me know. Let me know on the last video. Let me know here. If you do it here, it'll count. Maybe I'll go back and just comment all of those on the last video just to help you enter. Yeah, we're soliciting all of that sort of information, those wants and needs from you. But subscribe here, go back, do that. Patreon's live if you want projections for the entire playoffs, not to mention our 2023 projections. And when we get the update on that, hopefully in the postseason or after the conclusion of the regular season, we'll update those projections. You can get a head start on next year, beat some people, some great players. So that's all the plugs. Let's indulge myself a little more. And let's open some rewards. There they are, 6 of them. We'll start at the bottom. Tier 4, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 3, Tier 2, Tier 3. All right, let's start with the common all-star, the spoils. What do we got? Had to be a reliever. I don't know who you are, Jimmy, but you're a rookie, so that's helpful. Hopefully you break out. Don't need to check the pricing on that one. That's going to be a point. 001, 0001. All right, what's the tier 3? All right, Jorge Mateo. He sat on my my season long all year. Steals a ton of bases. Might actually be a very nice player for next year. I wouldn't mind picking up his rare either. All right, so we got the rare pro 25th overall finish. Very close to another super rare there. 29th here in limited pro. So let's go with the limited pro numero tres. Cool, young kid. Let's actually look into that one. We're gonna pull up Sorare data instead of going to the Excel sheet of doom. That's what I'll call it today. 0.0156. Honestly, That might be a sale. I am going to go over to the So Rare sheet of doom now. Okay, Brian Hayes. What can I get for that? Taylor Ward. What about a middle infielder? Can we get a middle infielder? Luis Rengifo is a little bit more. I could do that if I wanted. I'm gonna scroll quite a bit because I'm sure there's some people way up here in the projections for about point. Yohan Moncada, already have him, but that's a nice. It could be a nice kit. I could get 3 Luis Urias. He's the 70th projected player next year. Jorge Polanco is still 0.02. I could get another one. Brandon Lau 0.014. That's less. Could have him. This is all using projections for next season. Dylan Clarkson. Yeah, so some better options there. We might look to sell Brian Hayes. Let's look at his last sales too. Is he trending up? I'd love to list him here and get that offer, but yeah, it looks like he's topping out right around here. I think we can sell him for 0.0175. Cool. I'll do that. I doubt he factors into my team long term. So, all right. Hopefully this one's a little better for crew. We like that. Ooh, Eric Lauer from oh God, where is he from? Amherst in Cleveland. Okay, sure. Let's take a look at him really quick. I don't think he's going for a ton. Great pickoff move. Another 0.015. That's about where he's listed at, so I can just list him at 0.015. And again, sheet of doom. Let's see some comparables around him. I know you can't see this, but I mean, is that true? Corbin Burns? Okay. Jose Barrios. Still projected 9th next season in ZiPS. He's just had a horrid year. So we'll see how that changes. Frankie Montas, Herman Marquez, Eduardo Rodriguez, Trevor Rogers, all about the same amount. Marcus Stroman, all about the same amount as Eric Lauer. So unless we see a jump in Eric Lauer's projections, that's another one who we could sell him. All right, the tier 2. This is what we're hoping for something good here. Correa, please. Ooh, okay. Oh, all right, cool. I thought it was gonna be Jose Miranda. I dig that. I dig that. Already have kind of a twin stack going. He might be overvalued though. I'll actually we're gonna look at you're gonna see the spreadsheet of death for this one. Have I changed the name of that like 4 times already? All right, next season. Let's look for Luis Arise. Yeah. 0.028. Get up here to Eugenio Suarez. I mean, I feel like this is going to take a jump. I feel like his projection is going to take a jump. But I mean, again, 0.028 up here, going from the top. Jorge Polanco. Jonathan India, who I would much prefer a rare of. Talked about Lau. Josh Bell. Realistically, like it doesn't have to be at the position. I just do that kind of for comparison's sake, but I could get another Giolito for that price. Did I say 0.5? Like if I could turn that into a Zach Wheeler or another Brandon Woodruff or a Robbie Ray would be great. Let's go back to the World Wide Web. Lisa Rise. Oh yeah, not 0.5. If I could get, so he's listed at 0.5. Last sale was 0.03. Probably post him 0.037, and then I would probably take 0.03 if someone was watching this and wanted to see it. But I mean, he's American League batting average leader, doesn't steal a lot of bases, scores a lot of runs on a good team. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the twin stack. See if I actually want to make that move. But so far, I mean, these are, that's like 0.05 combined. To make that just from playing the game is pretty sick. So, all right. 19th and super rare all-star, Evan Longoria with a double dong on Monday. No, Friday, because it was the weekend. This is absolutely going to be an Evan Longoria. I sold him at the price I bought him at. I was like, thank you for your service, whatever. But all right, this could go either way. There are some tier fours that are awful. There are some tier fours, that are above probably tier four, what they should be. That was very eloquent. All right, no relief pitchers, please. Okay. Okay. I have no idea who that is. I have never heard of this dude. All right. That's funny. I don't know. I don't know who you are. All right. Um, let's head over to Baseball Savant. Romy, number 7 prospect. Okay. All right. I needed a middle infielder, but 26, that's fine. Beautiful. Look at that. Um, yeah, I mean he doesn't have a whole lot of it's a bummer of an actual, but all right. Has he sold before? Sorry, my dog is licking himself, and I hope you can't hear it, but I can hear it. That's all I hear anymore. All right. I would be thrilled to receive that. Anything on the market currently? All right. Yeah. So it would be nice to have a different super rare to compete this week. Not my favorite. Does he show up on the sheet of doom? I bet he doesn't. Romy. Oh no, he does. In the Mickey Moniak area, Johan Camargo. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I had to do a quick stop. The dog licking was driving me insane. All right. So that's that. Rares came out nice. A little bit to be desired out of the super rare. Actually, I'm gonna do one more thing. Let's just take a look at it. This is another thing I like to do with young players. Very easy. Head over here. Yeah, that's not going to lend itself well. I mean, he's a plus speed guy. He's got raw power. What are his minor league numbers like? Does he hit homers? Not really. He did in Double A in 78 games, but hasn't really had a chance. 4 homers in 25 games actually isn't bad, but 33 games at the AAA level was 34% below average. So yeah, hit tool 30 down the line. That's not very promising. So Romy's going to be hitting the market, and hopefully we can find a big time White Sox fan. Okay, so moving on from that, from the old rewards. I'm happy with it. Those are all very usable players. That's great. So what I wanted to do today was I'm I'm looking for pitchers down the line, whether they're, rares or whatever. I did a cheat codes video way back, kind of talking about some of the numbers that are predictive relative to non-predictive numbers that are used all the time in baseball. But I mostly talked about hitting. And I wanted to talk about pitching because I need to unearth some real deals here. Like for super rare, it's hard to get a really good pitcher at a really good price right now. So I want to just bolster my rares. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to use rares in super rare all-star. Um, I don't know how long that's gonna last, but we need to bolster the rare pitching now that I have the limiteds and have been playing them up. I'm going to need to play the rares up a little bit. So what I wanted to do today was find some of the more correlative things that you can look at for pitching. So Cheat Codes 2 Electric Boogaloo starts with a shout out to our guy AJ. Yo no soy soccer, yo no say soccer. Thought it was Jonas Soy, but that doesn't make sense grammatically. Follow him at My So Rare Journey on Twitter. He's brilliant, data analyst. He loves the game, and so he found some of the deeper metrics that correlate to Sorare points. Swinging strike, number 1. Sierra, number 3 behind. Like just a calculated guess, or like using projections. Strikeout minus walk percentage, which is a common indicator of good pitching. This is his own metrics. Strikeout rate, fantastic. Again, points per game. xFIP, contact percentage. We're going to concentrate on these first two here. Swinging strike percentage, the amount of times a pitcher elicits a swinging strike from the hitters that they face. 36.6% correlation. I don't know if that makes sense data-wise. I'm just reading it. So sorry if I'm misrepresenting your data, AJ. And then Sierra is the other one we're going to talk about. So obviously you can take these metrics and say, all right, this guy's got a good swinging strike percentage relative to his price. Like I can dive in there. But what drives swinging strike percentage? The answer to that mainly is four-seam velocity and four-seam spin rate. There are plenty of other, there are guys who just get a ton of swinging strikes on their breaking pitches, and you can break that down, look at the horizontal movement, see how that correlates. But I didn't have time to run a full data analysis. That's coming later. That will be under the umbrella of the Patreon. That's some of the things that we're going to do over the course of the off season, do some real in-depth studying of data and kind of pick out who you should be targeting for next season. So what does contribute to swinging strike percentage? I mentioned those two metrics. Really quick, gonna share the whole screen, even though you'll probably see my notes at some point. Okay, so now we're going to head to what I pulled from Baseball Savant. So over here, speed, spin. Really quick, I'm going to go over to this. I'm going to prices. I'm going to move it to this, move to the end. Gonna pop a quick VLOOKUP here. I'm actually going to pause the recording really quick so you don't have to spend your time watching me do this. 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. One of the things that I didn't do to prepare for this show. All right. So we're looking at four-seam velocity and four-seam spin. Obviously, velocity makes things harder to hit. If you don't know about spin rate, that's a common thing thrown around in baseball. Basically, a higher spin rate means the ball will kind of create the illusion that it's going to sink down into the zone, but really the plane stays flat. So that is why pitchers will use tacky substances. That's why they crack down on it, is because, pitchers are saying, well, it helps me locate the ball, and we don't want to, buzz these hitters' heads without, the ability to locate the pitch. And a lot of hitters are like, yeah, that's fine. But also what it does is it spikes the spin rate. Trevor Bauer did an independent study. Driveline did a study. Trevor Bauer is Trevor Bauer. Don't want to get into that, but he's a mad scientist at the very least. And he basically said straight up to the sideline reporter for Cleveland, look at the data between these two innings. Basically, I'm going to start using spider tack in this next inning. The spin rate spiked, and he went nuts that game. He had a bunch of strikeouts. So it does correlate with strikeouts, which we know correlates well to points. For pitchers, you want strikeouts, and then hopefully you suppress runs, but you need 2 strikeouts to make up for 2 runs, basically, with the scoring matrix. So if you can just get a high strikeout pitcher, as long as he doesn't get blown up, you're fantastic. So, instead of just looking at everybody's prices, like these guys, you know all these guys, but Pablo Lopez, Jordan Montgomery, actually, these are some of the lower velocities, but you see some higher spin rates. So let's sort by the spin rates. Again, you know these guys. Zach Gallen, that's a guy worth earmarking. Who else? Kyle Freeland, actually, that's surprising. Wright, Morton, Talion, Merrill Kelly's another one. Carlos Rodon we know is good. Shane McClanahan, actually, the spin rate's a little more towards the middle of the pack. So, all right. So if you look at guys like Burns and Musgrove relative to guys like Gallen and Kelly, so here are the prices really quick. Corbin Burns. 0.015 for his limited, 0.133 for his rare, and over an ETH for his super rare. Now, if we look at Zach Gallen, right up here, about 60% of the price, about 60% of the price, and about a third of the price. So there you go. We've identified someone. Let's look at Musgrove. Actually, probably isn't huge. Tiny. There you go. I mean, he's again like the fastball velocity isn't huge, and then you look at he's kind of middling in a lot of these. Like that pink means they're kind of middle of the pack. Where you look at guys like Dylan Cease, who walks a lot of guys, but he's huge in all of these areas. So Dylan Cease, I can afford that, and that might actually be worth it for me. But I really like bargains, and that's what I'm looking for here. As you see, Kyle Freeland's getting blasted and everything else. So just like that, all of a sudden you're looking at this is what's going to provide you a high whiff percentage. If we sort by whiff percentage, you'll see mostly the correlation is in the speed, not as much in the spin. But here are your top whiff percentage guys. Robbie Ray, another good one. Pablo Lopez, there he is again. Might be worth looking into. Jordan Montgomery, he's had a nice year. There's Musgrove. Any other guy? Tyler Anderson actually has had wonderful. Like if you look at his fastball, doesn't really line up with both. I mean, a whiff rate that's kind of in the middle, and we're only looking at qualified pitchers here, so we have like 46 guys. You could do more by expanding that field and seeing, dropping the innings needed to qualify and everything like that. But we're just kind of looking at the top of the crop, the guys who have big sample sizes. And so we've already identified a few. And if I don't still have a Joe Musgrove, I think I'm going to go get one. So Musgrove, Gallen, Robbie Ray is another one. High whiff percentage, good in these areas. I'd love a Dylan Cease. Boy. But he's not going to be a deal. Yeah, Robbie Ray, not quite the high-end speed and spin. Gossman got hurt, or else I would have got a better super rare. Again, Pablo Lopez, smoke and mirrors a little bit here, but the whiff rate does correlate. So that's the top end. Speed and spin. Also, you can start to look at their other pitches. If you look up one of these guys, like you find these guys, if you want to do more research, go to Fangraphs. You can find the percentage that they're throwing, the amount of pitch, the run value of each of those pitches. If you see another pitch other than the fastball pop off, like especially for a guy like Pablo Lopez, who's not blowing people away with his fastball, you can find other reasons that they're being successful. And then if you want to just head over to AJ's Twitter and see if there's anything that might correlate, that's how you can do it. So the other thing we talked about was Sierra. So Sierra, you might have heard of FIP, the the zeitgeist of baseball kind of moved from ERA to FIP, and then FIP to Sierra, not so much, even though they came out at the same time. Sierra was actually another thing that Trevor Bauer talked a lot about. Bauer, for all of his warts, that's putting it lightly. I don't want to get into it, but knows what he's talking about with numbers and all of that. So he always preached Sierra. So Sierra is one of the newer, they're called DIPS. It's defensive independent pitching statistics. So basically saying pitchers cannot control what the fielders do. They can't control, the park adjustments. So like they can't control that the ball flies further in cores. They can only do what they can do. The difference between Sierra and FIP is, for one, Sierra kind of argues that you can control quality of contact. So some of those numbers that we talked about on the hitter side in the original cheat codes, basically what Sierra does is takes FIP, which is fielding independent pitching, which is what DIPS sounds like. There's a reason they sound similar. So Sierra argues for the quality of contact a little bit more, and it also adjusts for kind of the amount of time that runners get on base against them relative to the mean. So if you've got a guy who's going out there and he's got a great FIP, but he allows more base runners by some metric for some reason, Sierra basically removes that. So if you see on AJ's list, Sierra is a little bit higher than FIP, and it's probably because it's slightly more predictive because it includes these sorts of things. So what correlates with Sierra? We talked about quality of contact. We talked about strikeout percentage. So whiff percentage with strikeout percentage, and we can kind of see it all rolled into one. Sierra is kind of a catch-all metric, and that's why we love it. So we are going to go back to a separate spreadsheet. So we're going to sort by Sierra. Oops. These are guys you don't want. Chris Flexen almost bought him today. Glad I didn't. All right. Here are your best Sierra guys. Lo and behold, Ohtani, Strider, two most expensive. Strider just on another stratosphere. In another stratosphere. But as you can see, some of these guys, Gausman, Dola, Cole, their results don't line up with what they should. Wow, Alex Wood. Yeah, so Cole is still pricey. Nola, okay. Gausman, just a fantastic deal. You saw him pop up on some of the other stuff. Okay to walk. So yes, by Sierra, these are your top pitchers. So if you just want to look at Sierra alone, Rodon, Nola, Gausman, Woodruff. These are all guys that I'm targeting anyway. Alex Cobb, holy cow. Doesn't strike out a ton of guys, so not necessarily going to get you a ton of points, but he's going to go deeper into games. Here's Gallen again. George Kirby, surprised to see him there. But again, results not matching what should be independent. So there's Musgrove again. So what did we say? Strikeout percentage and strikeout minus walk is going to be more indicative anyway, because then you remove the walks from the occasion. And then quality of contact, rather. You can see a pretty heavy correlation in between some of these guys too, between FIP and Sierra. That's because they're very similar. But what you see with some of these other guys is probably, what did we say? They allow more base runners. So maybe their BABIP is higher or something like that. Something we can look into. So this is that spreadsheet. So we wanted to look at K percentage as well, just how it relates to Sierra, Rodon, Ohtani, Surprise, Cole, Cease, McClanahan. There's Nola again, Gausman, Ray, Gallen. Tristan McKenzie's been fantastic. It's Musgrove again. Pablo Lopez. I didn't see Pablo Lopez very high on Sierra. So maybe what Sierra is telling us is that he's actually not that good. Kind of meh, right in the middle, right in the middle. So yeah, Pablo Lopez maybe a little in the middle. Very capable of having a little more success. So we've identified some guys here today, and it's more about kind of showing you what to look for. All I did was a quick Google, like what do we already know correlates with, whiff percentage, swinging strike percentage. You can do your independent analyses, and I mean there are so many stats available. Like you can run this yourself and find out things that might correlate a little closer, or maybe not as strongly, but still worth looking into. Obviously, you need to know, what amount of correlation is closer to causation. I'm going way off the rails here with stat stuff, and I'm probably saying things that are not fully accurate. So this is one to check with Yonose Soccer and some of the other stats guys, data guys, because you need to know what an actual good correlation is. What is actually a correlative amount? I'm really stumbling over myself a lot. And if you can find something that correlates to swing strike percentage and Sierra a little more and is both strong, like that's something to kind of go down. But mostly I wanted to teach you like the tools. Like you can just Google what correlates and then just do a little reading and kind of bolster your search that way. So I've already identified some guys that I actually want to look at, George Kirby being one of them. I need to get a rare Musgrove, stuff like that. So I'm happy with it. I'm okay with it. And again, over the course of the off season, this is the stuff we're going to be adding over on the Patreon. Just deeper statistical dives. We're going to overhaul projections, look at it a little closer for next year. Like, I mean, we don't need to do anything with zips. This is all factored into zips and the Bat X, stuff like that. They know what they're doing. Derek Carty, Dan Zimborski, they don't need us to do this. So those are going to be your best indicators, like better than anything you can probably do unless you're like a really good coder and can create projection software and like do better than them, but they got a head start on us. So, but we got all those projections. We got them over over on the Patreon. So if you want that for $10, it'll be all right there for you. Updated pricing information, all of that. So I believe that's all we got for today. Again, all that's going to be on the Patreon. Get the entire playoffs and all of that stuff, hopefully down the line for $10. Don't forget this week's giveaway. Head over to the last video, comment what you want to see in the off season for your chance to win a Kevin Plawecki Limited. But I think we're going to start the playoffs by giving away a rare. I think we are. So, any questions, any corrections on me talking about correlation versus causation, anything like that, leave it in the comments. I'd love to see you in the Discord. Find us on Twitter at SorareFP. Find me on Twitter at Lex Hooper, and let's chat. If you have any types of data you want to see in the Patreon or in the spreadsheet of doom, death, magic, wonder, all of that. Hopefully it's more of the latter. Just let me know and we'll make it happen. But enter that giveaway. Enjoy the last game week of the regular season. Sad. Hate it. Hate to see it. But I'm excited for the playoffs, excited for NBA, and excited for my chat with Ryan Spoon coming up. So until then, till the next time, we'll talk to you.